Happy Wednesday, preteens. I hope that you guys have had a wonderful week so far. I don't know how many of you were able to attend services at church this past weekend. I made it to the first service, and let me tell you, it felt so good to be in God's house again, worshiping Him and praising His name. This week, we're going to be in the book of Daniel again. Now, last week we talked about Daniel being thrown into the lion's den when he was around 80 years old. This week we're going to rewind about 13 years or so. At this time, Daniel is about 67, and he has a vision from God about these four beasts. And it says that one was like a lion, and it had the wings of an eagle. And in his vision, the wings are torn off and it's lifted from the ground so that it stands like a human. It has the mind of a human. The second beast looks like a bear, and it has 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. And it's told to get up and eat its fill of flesh. There's a third beast that looks like a leopard. It has 4 wings on its back and it has 4 heads. And this beast was given authority to rule. And then the fourth beast, it says that it was terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth, and it crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. And on its head, it had 10 horns. So Daniel is in bed at night, and he has this vision. And something that's interesting about this to me is typically in the Bible, when someone has a vision or a dream, they go out and they tell other people, or they go and seek guidance from other people so that they can interpret those dreams for them. Daniel told no one about this vision. He just recorded it in writing. Just something I thought was pretty interesting. So he has this vision of these beasts, and then he has a vision of thrones in the heavens being set before him, and God is sitting on the throne, and it says that his hair and his clothing were white like snow, and that his throne was like burning flames. And then Jesus enters the scene. And when Jesus enters the scene, God gives him power and authority over all of these beasts. And the first 3 beasts are actually stripped of their power. They're allowed to live for a little while, but their power is taken away. And then the 4th beast, the one with the 10 horns, is actually destroyed. So Daniel has this vision, and he's kind of scared. He doesn't know what's going on. So we're going to start Daniel chapter 7. We're going to start reading in verse 15. And it says, I, Daniel, was troubled in spirit, and the visions that passed through my mind disturbed me. I approached one of those standing there and asked him the meaning of all this. So he told me and gave me the interpretation of these things. The 4 great beasts are 4 kings that will rise from the earth. But the holy people of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever. Yes, forever and ever. Then I wanted to know the meaning of the 4th beast, which was different from all the others and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws. The beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head and about the other horn that came up before which 3 of them fell. The horn that looked more imposing than the others and that had eyes and a mouth that spoke boastfully. As I watched, this horn was waging war against the holy people and defeating them until the Ancient of Days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the holy people of the Most High. And the time came when they possessed the kingdom. And he gave me this explanation. The 4th beast is a 4th kingdom that will appear on earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms and will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. The 10 horns are 10 kings who will come from this kingdom. After them, another king will arise, different from the earlier ones. He will subdue 3 kings. He will speak against the Most High and oppress his holy people and try to change the set times and the laws. The holy people will be delivered into his hands for a time, times, and a half a time. But the court will sit, and his power will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. Then the sovereignty, power, and greatness of all the kingdoms under heaven will be handed over to the holy people of the Most High. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all his rulers will worship and obey him. So this vision that Daniel had is of kings that will rule on earth. But as Jesus enters the scene, those kingdoms are destroyed, and everything on earth, even though they have been under the rule of these kings here on earth, will be handed over to the Most High. They are God's people, and they will eventually live in eternity with him. Guys, things on this earth, God is in control of it all. But there are some pretty bad people, and there are people who do not follow God's law. There are people who do not have God in their lives, and they can cause some havoc on earth. We just have to know that God is in control, and that those of us who love him and who have accepted him as our Savior will live with him in eternity eventually. All the things of earth will pass away, but God's kingdom is forever. It kind of makes me think of Iron Man. Now, I'll admit I am not a big Marvel Studios super fan. I've never really been into superheroes, but I do know through Carter, because he watched the movie, that it was this really big deal in the Marvel Endgames movie that Iron Man died. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that he sacrificed himself for everyone else, and he was killed in this movie. And it was this big deal. It was this big story. I mean, he's a superhero. That's what superheroes do, right? They sacrifice themselves to help other people. And I know there's been some speculation that he may be coming back, and everyone's wondering, how in the world is he going to come back if he died in the last movie? Now, I don't know if Iron Man's going to come back in the next movie or not. I don't know how they would work that out. I don't know if it will happen. But I do know something that is certain. Jesus was our superhero. Jesus came to earth, and he sacrificed himself for his people. And guess what, folks? He's coming back. We can live in confidence knowing that Jesus is coming back for his people. And we are going to spend eternity worshiping him together. I hope that you guys are planning on being there with me. I want to see all of you in eternity. If you're unsure about that, have your parents call me. Talk to your parents. Let's get together and discuss it, because it's going to be amazing, and I don't want you to miss out on that. I love you guys. Have a great week.